Update. A random girl has contacted me saying that my boyfriend of 2+ years violated her. What should I do about this? Original post. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We live together and own a dog together. We love each other very much and get along like gangbusters. We are very intimate, like about 3 to 4 times a week, and my boyfriend has never ever done anything that made me feel even the slightest bit uncomfortable. He is very sweet, very loving man, and he has always stopped immediately during the act whenever I have shown even the slightest sign of discomfort. This past Friday, the two of us were out doing our own things as I went out to a bachelorette party. My boyfriend went to a party on campus at the university he attends. We talked Saturday and he told me the party was fun, but that nothing remarkable happened. Then this afternoon, I received a Facebook message from a girl who I do not know but who attends my boyfriend's school. Her message basically said that my boyfriend got her drunk at a party he attended Friday and that he subsequently violated her. She feels like my boyfriend is dangerous and wants to warn me that he is an unsafe person to be around. I have not replied to the message or asked the girl any questions about her story yet, and I'm not sure if I should or not. I know that I need to talk to my boyfriend about this, but I am not sure how to go about it. I checked his Facebook friends list and they are not friends, and I've never heard her name mentioned before by my boyfriend or any of our mutual friends. I am not sure whether or not I believe this woman, but I don't feel like I can totally dismiss this and forget it ever happened. So help me. How do I ask my boyfriend about this? Should I message her back? And if so, what should I say? What should I do? Now for the top advice before reading the update. You never know what people will do, even people you know very, very well. This girl may be stalk crazy, she may have a legit claim, or she may be manipulating you for some reason. Whatever the case may be, tread lightly. Write her back. Tell her to go to the hospital and get a kit done. She doesn't have to talk to the police, but the hospital will probably send them over. I was a crisis counselor in college for a while, and this is what happens. She can call one of those services and have someone go with her if she wants. But this isn't about her. Either way, she should do this if she's serious, and then tell you about it. Maybe you should arrange to meet her in person, so you can look this girl in the eye while she tells you about this incident with your man. When you're ready to talk to him, you know him at this point. You'll be able to read his face and body language while you hear him speak. Maybe he did this thing or something close to it, or maybe he didn't. You'll know more when you speak to him. Do you trust him to be honest with you, no matter what? You or he should possibly bring this to the proper school authorities as well. Is this girl in a sorority? I don't really know where this kind of thing would be handled. Maybe the police if she's a crazy person, just so it's on record. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. You're going to have to do a lot of trusting your gut on this one, and that's incredibly hard. It might take you a long time to get over the seed of doubt that's been planted. I hope things work out for the better. I'm on board with the idea of telling her to get a kit done as well. I would definitely minimize contact with her though, and certainly don't agree to meet up with her. The best advice I would give otherwise is to seek advice from a professional on how to approach the situation. Collectively, Reddit may be very smart, but you need some pretty specific wisdom to handle the situation well, and are better off seeking it from someone with the proper training. Got her drunk at a party he attended Friday and that he subsequently violated her. Sadly, got her drunk and forced her usually translates as she got drunk, had consensual hookup, and then felt ashamed in the morning. Edit. I will post an update Thursday or Friday depending on when I have time. Thanks everyone. Now for the update. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their responses. I read every response and message and took all of it to heart. Here's what happened next. The morning after posting, I showed my boyfriend a message. He denied everything, but I could tell right away from his body language that something had happened between him and a girl. I asked him if he was okay with me talking with a girl in person or contacting the host of the party to ask about the girl's story. At first, he was really reluctant to let me investigate further, but after a while, he seemed resigned to the fact that I was going to get to the bottom of this one way or another. He told me that he understood why I was worried and that he was okay with me doing anything I could to set my mind at ease. I took that as a good sign and called the host of the party, who really didn't tell me much, just that my boyfriend and a girl were both there. I then arranged an in-person meeting with a girl. I met the girl for coffee. Once she was in front of me and I asked her face-to-face about whether she got a kit done, she changed her story. A lot. She told me she had met my boyfriend at a party last Friday. She said that they spent the whole night drinking and talking. She said that after the party was over, she and my boyfriend went back to her apartment and ended up accidentally hooking up, whatever that means. She said she sent the message to me the next morning because she was upset when she looked him up on Facebook to friend him and saw that he had a long-term girlfriend. He apparently did not mention me once the entire night, and she was enraged that he used her like that. I told her that I thought that was more than just a little crazy, and she agreed, claiming that her crazy side just came out and she couldn't help but send me the message. I told her that it was very, very wrong to make false accusations like that, and that she should be completely ashamed of herself. She also said that she was really sorry for everything and that she would not contact me nor my boyfriend again. Needless to say, I went home and confronted my boyfriend. He admitted to everything and told me the exact same story as the girl. We broke up, and he is in the process of moving out of our apartment. I am devastated because I really loved and trusted this man, but I have too much self-respect to continue to deal with a cheater. I do not believe anyone hook up by accident, and being really, really drunk just isn't a good enough excuse for me. Anyways, thanks for everything, and don't worry, I'm getting tested for STDs tomorrow. What kind of girl pretends to get violated because she was angry? Does she not understand the ramifications of that? WTF? Your ex-boyfriend doesn't even deserve that kind of crazy. Congrats on moving on with your life. Good luck on the STD test. My ex stuck is drunk and crazy. Thanks. I'm just going to eat a lot of Ben & Jerry's, wallow for the weekend, and then move on with my life. It's hard and it hurts, but it's way better than being somebody's doormat. What a fantastic outlook on a crappy situation. Healthy, healing, and acknowledging the crappiness of the situation. You are clearly a rock star that will be amazingly better on the other side of the wallow weekend. Cheers to you, and eat some ice cream for me. You are an exceptionally mature woman. I really admire how you've dealt with this. Seriously, that's what I call emotional health. I'm sorry for what happened, but I'm sure that with this attitude, you'll find a deserving guy soon. I'm going to take a break from dating and try to enjoy being single for a little while. Being cheated on and going through so much really weird drama can take a toll on a person, and I don't want to jump into anything worse. Gotta clear my head. Next story. My 29 female, boyfriend 32 male gave away my Hamilton tickets. Am I being selfish for just wanting to break up over this? Backstory. My mom is genuinely one of the funniest, kindest, sweetest people I've ever met, and I'm genuinely lucky to have been her daughter. She had me fairly young, raised me by herself, and while we were pretty poor growing up, she did her darnest to make sure that I got a good education and had everything I needed as a kid. One of the things we share is a love of theater. She would save up and take me to all the musicals that stopped on tour in our town, and while we were always in the cheap seats, it was always something we both greatly looked forward to. These memories of going to the theater with my mom are very precious to me, and is one of the main factors in why I work in the entertainment industry today. Corporate side though, as I have a horrendous singing voice. Lol. Fast forward to today. Like most theater nerds, my mom and I are basically obsessed with Hamilton. And for those of you who aren't really familiar with it, the show is basically impossible to get tickets for at this point, unless you want to see it in January of next year. I'm lucky enough to be in a financial position with my job that I could afford tickets for a show in July for me and my mom. These are amazing seats, 5th row center. And through some type of divine intervention, I managed to snag tickets for the night that creator/lead in Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda's final performance. I surprised my mom with these tickets back in December for Christmas. I bought them in October, I think, and I'm making a whole week of it. I put us up in a really nice hotel. I made reservations at a bunch of restaurants that we both want to try, and we're going to do a bunch of touristy places in general. Plus, try to see if we can fit in at least one other show before we leave. We are both incredibly excited for this. My mom even has a little Hamilton countdown that she's doing on a mini chalkboard she uses as a planner. She sends me pictures every day when she changes it. It's cute. In January, I began dating this guy that I'll refer to as Josh. We were casual/not exclusive for a while, but became serious within the last 2 months. He also works in the corporate side of entertainment, but at a different agency than I do. He also has a higher position than me and makes a lot more money than I do. This becomes important. We met at an industry event and we hit it off instantly. I thought I could get really serious about this guy, and up to this point there have been no red flags that I've seen. Although, to be honest, right now, I'm sifting through all of my memories to see if there's something I missed. He also comes from a much wealthier family than I do. Josh has a younger sister that I'll call Jennifer, 17, that's kind of going through a big troubled teen phase. She cuts class, smokes, and is really disrespectful to her parents. I've only met her once, but as far as I know, she's not doing anything too bad. She's just kind of a sad kid and could really benefit from some therapy. I floated this by Josh, but he said his parents are kind of disdain of therapy in general. Josh says they can't reach out to her no matter what they do, and they've tried everything, except trying to get her to a counselor. But whatever. Actual problem time. Sunday night, I was at my place with Josh. We were drinking wine and cuddling while watching the Tonys Theater Awards show. My mom was texting me during the Hamilton performance and geeking out about how excited she was. I laughed and showed my mom's text to Josh because I thought it was so adorable. And he didn't say anything off, but he was acting kind of strange after. He asked me what date the show we were going to was. I told him, and then he went into the other room to take a phone call. I thought nothing of it because we both have to take random phone calls like that for our jobs all the time, and is going through kind of a tough time it is. He was in an unusually good mood afterwards and said he had to go home early because he had to sign some forms at the office early tomorrow before we met up to get brunch with his parents later that day. Again, nothing too unusual and pretty common with the both of us. He picks me up at work for the brunch with his parents, and again, he's in an unusually good mood. I ask what's up, and he says vaguely that things are going well at the office and this deal he's trying to make is finally going through. I don't really press for info because we both try to avoid work topics, partially due to work stuff being fairly banal, and partially because we both have to sign some pretty gnarly NDAs a lot of the time. And this is only my second time meeting his parents, so I'm still a bit nervous about brunch. We get to the brunch place, and the first thing his mom does when she sees me is give me a huge warm hug and profusely thanks me for my kindness. His dad also gives me a huge handshake and thanks me for helping out with Jen. I'm kind of WTFing because I have no clue what they're talking about. I ask what she means, and she says for giving her the Hamilton tickets. I turn around to Josh and he just had this big grin on his face. Guys, that time my boyfriend was away talking on the phone for business, he was actually on the phone with Jen, promising that I would give her my Hamilton tickets. I was so thrown off by this that I kind of not very tactfully, I admit, say how I had no clue about this. Josh looks angry, and his parents are equally thrown off. But instead of getting mad at Josh, his mom just says, "Well, you can still give them to her though, right?" And they all look at me like I'm supposed to just agree with this. And I tried to explain that the trip is actually for me and my mom, and how important this is to my mom. All three of them start going on about how Jen is super excited about this, and that this is the first time that she's not been mad / expressed happiness to them in a while. And that's how the next half hour goes basically, until the parents leave, mad, and the dad calls me a selfish cow. I'm so flabbergasted that I just sort of put up with it, but I could barely get a word in. Josh and I go outside a brunch place and he starts screaming at me about my selfishness, and how Jen is going through a much harder time than they thought. He wasn't very clear on this, so I'm not quite sure what it meant. And that I'm being childish because it's just a musical. I hate having arguments in public. Also, this is one of my favorite brunch spots and I wanted to be able to come back without being embarrassed, so I wasn't really engaging. He eventually called me the C-word and then left in his car, which is awkward as hell because it was valet parking, so he was just kind of stewing by the valet stand while I was waiting for my Uber. Later that night, I texted him saying while I wasn't giving up my tickets, there are still some available on that date. However, they cost about $2,500 due to ticket scalpers jacking up the price. Believe me, this is not a problem for either the parents or my boyfriend. He literally just bought a $3,000 watch for funsies last week. But the only response I got was that was an exorbitant fee, which I agree, but not the point he refuses to pay. And that he didn't understand why I couldn't just give the tickets to Jen. I also got texts from both his parents pleading with me to give the tickets. And also they forwarded an email to me that Jen sent to Josh and her parents, thanking them for the surprise. Apparently, she's also obsessed with Hamilton and this is making her year. Also, we live in LA. Do they also expect me to give up my plane ticket / hotel? What was their game plan here? Look, I completely understand wanting to help out with Jen, and I feel really bad that apparently her family's filled with weirdos. but this has been also baffling, and the entitled behavior they displayed is a massive turnoff. I'm not giving up these tickets, but I also kind of want to cut my losses here. The attitude Josh displayed towards me outside of the brunch place was very unpleasant to say the least. And he knows how disrespectful I find being called a C-word, so I'm of half a mind to just break up with him. He knew I had these tickets for a while, and I don't get why he decided to do this now at all. But should I contact Jen and explain it all? I just saw that he made a really excited post on Facebook about it. I'm not friends with her, but I'm friends with my boyfriend and I liked her post. I would straight up buy the ticket for her. But frankly, I can't afford those prices because I'm saving up for the New York trip for my mom. How do I move forward? Now for the top advice before reading the update. This is really bizarre and I think you should break up. I'm super confused though still, as I'm sure are you. Who would think this was a reasonable way to go about things in a million years? I really don't understand how we can see texts from Opie's mom freaking out with excitement about going to see this show and immediately think that the tickets are up for grabs. What a narcissistic a-hole. No wonder Jen is having such a hard time. She's being raised by narcissistic a-holes like these people. I genuinely feel bad for Jen. I didn't go into detail about this because my post was already way too long, but the email I was forwarded made me cry. She's having a really tough time as being a teen girl in LA sucks. Andy Hamilton tickets made her feel like she was actually being listened to / understood by her parents. This is all messed up. So, they not only gave your tickets away, but they didn't even tell Jen it was from you? They just took credit for it? She thanks them several times, so I'm fairly certain they said it was a gift from them. There's no way I'm giving up the ticket still, but frankly, after the limited interaction I've had with her parents, I can definitely understand why she's acting out. Now for the update. Yeah, I'm typing up an email dumping him right now. Normally, I think it's better to meet up in real life for things like this, but his behavior both during and outside brunch was scary, and I would prefer not to be alone with him right now. Maybe that's paranoid, but better safe than sorry. I think this is one of those situations where everything was so crazy, and they were acting like this is totally normal behavior, that I thought I was the insane one.